What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So you guys may have noticed in recent videos or in recent Instagram posts that I finally got a front bumper for the 350Z. Quite a process, let me tell you. So I was looking for, I just can't stand the idea of spending $100, $150, $200 on shipping. It just drives me insane. So I was trying to find a used one locally that I could pick up, within a reasonable driving distance. There aren't many of them out there, obviously. There aren't many used 350Z front bumpers that are in good shape. Most of them have been smashed into a wall or a curb or an animal, so they're tough to find. The ones that you can find for a reasonable price, they're cracked and beat up. I was even willing to get a cracked and beat up one and do a little repair project video, but nonetheless, still very difficult to find. I finally just bit the bullet and I got an eBay front bumper for the Z. So I'm gonna be test fitting it today. We finally got a bumper for the Z. Let's open this thing up, see what the heck it looks like. Okay, they come folded up. We kind of knew that, but it's not folded as badly as I thought it was gonna be. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's in decent shape. It's not very sunny today. It's just kind of randomly sunny. I might take it out in the backyard, but normally you'd sit it out in the sun and let it soften up a little bit, kind of bend these creases out and just get it to take shape. You can use a heat gun too, which is probably what we're gonna do. I'll go take it in the backyard and see what happens. Take this little thing for a rip now though. I'm supposed to get reflectors with it. I don't see where they are. All right, those were in the mailbox. They ship separately. Cool. Sort of just relaxing on its own, pretty cool. Just gonna stretch it out. And now it's just sort of keeping itself in place. Now I'm just gonna turn it around. This other side in the sun, see what happens. Not looking so bad, but I'm actually gonna just take it back in the garage and use a heat gun just to kind of finish it off here in these little sections here that have a little crease in them. Just get those hot enough, I suppose, and kind of work them into place and then let them cool down and therefore harden up. They should stay in place pretty good. Not too bad for an eBay bumper. I had previously had these front fender liners in, but I had to trim them down to get them to fit because we weren't running the front bumper. So this area I needed to have open, so I did get some new fender liners. So that's part of this process as well. So you can see here, this is the side that I haven't changed out yet. So when we weren't running the front bumper, I had that wide open to the front end of the vehicle. So we didn't want the fender liners hanging down and getting caught and pulled up or flopping around. So had to trim them down, no big deal. I'll get those replaced, but we're starting to get the bumper in place to see how we can get this thing to fit. So this top part, front section, lines up really well. All the holes line up. It goes all the way up to the edges of the headlights. This is a lot better than some of the aftermarket kind of like Nismo rep bumpers I've seen people try. It fits a lot better than that, so I'm really surprised. This bumper is only like 240 bucks with free shipping, so I can't complain at all. It does come folded, which you saw obviously, but leaving it in the sun, using a little heat gun, it kind of gets it back into flavor, gets it back into shape. So I don't have the metal brackets that normally come on the Z. I've seen a lot of people replace their bumper or use aftermarket bumpers and they just get rid of that metal bracket that's right here in this section. It kind of sandwiches the lip of the bumper up in this region, up against the fender. I've seen a lot of people run it without that bracket, so I was just trying it out. I may purchase the brackets. I'm not sure if it'll help close this gap at all. I don't, as you can see, I didn't have those bolts tight, but I got to heat this up a little bit, and these headlights I feel are a little bit off because the gap gets really tight up in here. So I might be able to adjust the headlight, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below. I've never worked on a Z headlight before, so I might be able to pull these down a bit, close this gap. Otherwise, I could probably get some weather stripping in there. Also, I want to heat it up a little bit more to get rid of this crease. That might help straighten it out and help me pull this up. And then this gap will be closed as well. This line is one I look at. Flows perfectly. This edge is one I look at. Flows really nicely there. Checking around to this other side, this gap is pretty decent. Obviously, see if I pull that in, that's really tight. Here again, I'm gonna want to heat this up a little bit more to get that flattened out. Probably push it in a little bit and get it to hold its shape. Then here's the same situation with those little bolts. I get to pull that tight. This body line fits nicely. It's gonna close this gap evenly here and along the edge. It's money. So then this fender liner as well, it's gonna fit in perfect. These holes line up on the underside. I'm going to get a metal undershroud probably from Z1. Maybe we'll go the cheap route and get an Amazon one just so we have something to test out. Ooh, calipers and rotors are still looking good. But then that'll actually got a piece of aluminum. I'm gonna use this for a couple of things. Number one, we're gonna create our own little V bracket, which I'm sure you guys have seen. Some aftermarket bumpers actually come with it to provide a little bit of support here in this region if you don't have that undershroud. Make sure your bumper doesn't sag or get sucked in underneath the car. Just gives it a little bit of rigidity, a little bit of form. So we're gonna make one of those little V brackets. But I'm also gonna use that future video for a mounting spot for our oil catch can. I have an oil catch can that I got for a previous project, never used it, but I think it'll actually work perfectly for this car. That's gonna be another video. I'm not sure if I mentioned at the beginning of the video or not, but this bumper, again, for $230, $250 shipped, also came with the reflectors. I might tint those, smoke them basically, just to get rid of the orange. I don't know though. I've seen people with the white lenses, clear lenses. I've seen them with them smoked. I think people have put blinkers, actual lights in there. So there might be something creative that we can do. But I'm glad to finally get a front bumper on this. Of course, we're gonna have to get a splitter just to add a little bit of, give it a little bit more, get it a little bit closer to the ground, give it a little bit more of an aggressive look. But I think having a front bumper instead of that bash bar is gonna make a big difference. God, those brakes look good. So, front end is nearly done with this car, and I have some really exciting news coming. Just stick around for that. Not gonna mention it in this video, but some exciting stuff coming for this car. Really fortunate for some opportunities that have popped up, so I'm amped, and we're gonna really push forward with this vehicle. So I hope you guys are following along. So I guess before my initial opinions of this bumper, considering the price and considering how quickly I was able to get it, I really don't have anything to complain about. I wouldn't necessarily say this is one of my typical watch before you buy videos, but I'll put a link in the description for this bumper. And if you guys are interested in just a really relatively inexpensive option for a front bumper for your 350Z, I mean, if you're doing a lot of drifting or you're doing a lot of track days and your bumper gets beat up, this is probably a good option for you. I mean, $200 and something. It's really hard to beat that. You're not going to worry about it too much if it does get beat up. And for the price, the fitment is actually really good. I mean, this is just sitting up here loose. I mean, this isn't attached to anything, and it already fits pretty decent. I mean, there's some bumpers out there, aftermarket bumpers, that have super terrible fitment, and they're twice the price. So I'm gonna get me an emblem because I like the emblem there. Again, a little front splitter, and I might just get the brackets. They're cheap enough. They're like 20 bucks a piece from Z1 Motorsports, so I might just get them just to see if that helps me. Might also get the little fasteners here, the little bumper quick release things, just for a little added additional support and help pull that gap a little bit closed. But I mean, again, everything is loose. It is just set up there. We have two of these little retainer clips in place to hold it, and it already fits pretty well. So again, I can't complain whatsoever. Again, links in the description below. I wanted to do a little test fitting of the 350Z eBay bumper, so you guys, if you're interested in it, you'll know kind of what to expect right out of the box. As you guys saw, I left it sit in the sun maybe like an hour in the back, and it did make it a little bit more pliable to where I could straighten those those end pieces out. But really, the heat gun, just a little bit of direct heat, kind of moving it, the heat gun around the creases a little bit and just kind of forcing it out with my hand. once it cooled, it really stayed in place. So a little bit more work with the heat gun just to kind of dial it in, and I think we'll be pleased with it. So it's worth it. I was really skeptical getting a bumper that was folded. I wasn't sure where the folds would be, but it kind of made sense how it came in. I worked for several years in a body shop, so I know what kind of these sort of Chinese aftermarket bumpers can look like, but I've never seen them folded and creased. I was surprised that with a little heat, they did straighten out, and straighten out a lot better than I was anticipating, with very little effort, to be quite honest. So I'm pumped to have a front bumper on this thing. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. We're making some progress on this car. I'm ready to have it go a weekend or two in a row without having it up on stands. So thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate the continued support. Seriously, exciting stuff coming for this car. More fun stuff coming for the Q50 as well. We got some family vacations and family fun stuff coming up that I might bring you guys along for as well, just to share a little bit of that piece of our life with you as well. So hope you guys will stick around. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.